sports. We gotta get it. We gotta get it. From our mics.
Test.
To your ears.
The latest update we got is...
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 6 minutes after 10 o'clock. Deborah Harkness is on the phone. You might know her name. She is kind of a rock star among authors. Paper in that game, rock, paper, scissors. Paper beats rock, right?
Yep, it does.
So a paper star is actually better than a rock star. So she's a paper star because she writes books. This is a book called The Book of Life. What I got a kick out of too. She's going to have to explain this one to me. Was it Ashmole? Mm-hmm. Ashmole 782?
Yes. Yeah, I figured you'd get a chuckle.
Yeah, because of the name, right? It's just I had to read it twice. But anyway, you know what I've always wondered about? If you were to take, for example, the science of today, the technology that we take for granted today, and somehow could go back in time, would people think you were a sorcerer or a witch? Mm-hmm. Because you have, a GPS or something. Of course,
yeah.
The GPS wouldn't work because there'd be no satellites up in space.
Exactly.
But some of the science that we have now, just a wristwatch would probably be an amazing thing to see, right?
Yes.
Let's see. Deborah has a list of credentials. Let me make sure I read them correctly. She's a scholar. That's a nice thing to have as a first thing, a scholar. Mm-hmm. A writer who specializes in the history of sciences and medicine, a professor of history at the University of Southern California, and an award-winning New York Times best-selling author. This is book 3 and the finale of the All Souls trilogy. It's called The Book of Life, and they're also making this into a TV piece. Is that right, Robin?
Yep.
Over in England?
Yep.
Deborah Harkness. Good morning, Deborah.
Good morning, Larry. How are you?
Pretty good. Where are you calling from?
From New Orleans.
New Orleans. How come the BBC is doing your... How did the BBC get your work?
Well, someone over there read the series, and they contacted me to see if they could purchase it and try to turn it into a television program. So I said yes. They do great book adaptations, so it's a very exciting thing.
That is cool. Tell me your thoughts about this whole idea that of witches may have been really scientists or something, or the vice versa, scientists or witches. I don't know.
Well, I think both things apply, really. In the period that I study, back in the 1500s, what I always tell my students is that magic, like beauty, was in the eye of the beholder. So it all just depended on your perspective in things. And a lot of the women who were accused of witchcraft were local healers and people who dealt in medicines. And by the same token, you had university faculty who were interested in alchemy or magic, who were brought up in front of the Inquisition for those charges. So, the line between magic and science was pretty blurry. I think it's still pretty blurry. I saw somebody with the new Apple Watch last week, and I thought, oh, wow, it can do what? It takes us a while to kind of get on board. So I think that for sure, I heard you chatting before I came on. If somebody from 1500 got dropped into your living room and you went over to the wall and tapped a switch and a light across the room went and turned on,
right,
you would definitely be a magician.
Do you know what's interesting too?
In their world.
Do you know what's interesting too is that we have stories of UFOs crashing, right? Mm-hmm. In 1947 and whatever, right? Well, now we have technology that they say we're going to have it in our cars soon that will prevent crashes, not only in cars but airplanes. There'll be anti-crash technology, right? Which means that we are now more advanced than the aliens.
That's right.
That's right. There you go. There will be no more Roswells, which will be a very unfortunate thing for all of us.
So tell me about the trilogy. Are you sad that this is the last one? It seems like you've got fans who are hoping that there'll be a fourth one.
The fans are very definitely sad, but it is a trilogy. The final story about Diana and Matthew and Ashmole 782.
Oh yeah, you got to tell me about that too.
Yeah, so it was a great experience and a wonderful set of characters to be with for the past many years. But like all things, it's a good time for a little bit of a change. I'm not quite sure what I'll do next, but there'll be more stories. I keep telling the fans there'll be more stories. I just don't know what they're going to be about quite yet.
Do you live in New Orleans?
I don't. I live in Los Angeles, which there's some similarities there, but yes. So
are you getting a lot of rain? Are you getting a lot of rain right now?
I'm getting a lot of rain in New Orleans. Boy, did it come down. I wish I could take a lot of bottles of it home with me to California, where we are not getting enough rain.
You do address race in your novels. You address sexuality in your novels, and you do it extremely well.
Well, thank you. I mean, I think we live in a world where we're really being reminded and challenged that, different does not have to mean bad, and it does not have to mean evil, and that it's really important as a civilization that we sort out how it is that we're going to handle people who aren't like us. And this has been a problem, as a historian, I can tell you from time immemorial. And we are on a very flat learning curve sometimes with this, and we make monsters, we really do, and we make monsters out of people we don't understand, who we feel aren't like us. And I think it might be time for us to give that a little bit of a rethink.
A lot of your fans are writing on their blogs, etc., that Diana Bishop is smart. They like the fact that she's a smart character. Is it? I'm guessing that was something you did intentional?
Sure. I mean, I personally find smart people more interesting, and I also personally think that the greatest weapon any superhero can have is their smarts. We see lots of superheroes who can fly through the air and, scale tall buildings, but really, at the end of the day, what makes them succeed is what's between their ears. And so I really wanted to explore that, and I still remember once at the very beginning of the series, someone said to me, "It sounds like you think smart is sexy." And I thought, well, yeah, don't you think smart is sexy?
Here's the interesting thing. Smart is sexy, but you know what's more obvious? That stupid is not sexy. That's more obvious than smart is sexy. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it is true. And I just think it's really important that we've got characters we can relate to, and I personally, my hat is off to anyone who trains with a paramilitary organization and has great physical strength, but it's not something I'm likely to ever achieve. So somebody who just uses the smarts God gave them, that I can get, and that I can work with, and have a goal to aspire to.
So somebody who studies factual things like yourself, you study history, you study science, but you're also talking about vampires and witches and things that are not necessarily scientific. And I'm wondering what your thoughts are on like the clairvoyant things and stuff. I saw this little girl. I got to tell you something real quick. I saw a little girl. A video had nothing to do with psychics or clairvoyance or anything like that. It was a video of this man trying to show that children shouldn't talk to strangers. And so he goes up to this little girl with a puppy, and he said, "How you like my puppy?" She said, "Oh, I like your puppy." And he goes, "Can you guess the puppy's name?" And the little girl says, "It's Duncan." And the guy goes, "Well, no, but it's donuts." And so then they go on with their little demonstration of how he's tricking her to trust him. But what I was fascinated with was the little girl seemed to be psychic. I mean, that's pretty close to say Duncan when the dog's name was Donuts.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe there's something to that.
I just think that we still don't know how the world really works. So as long as we really don't know how the world works and every part of it, every time I open a scientific journal or the science pages in a newspaper, something I would have thought was completely impossible is now been proven scientifically. So I still remember the days when I was told in science that we had, there were the Neanderthals, and then they died out, and then there were Homo sapiens, which is us. And now they tell us, no, actually Neanderthals and Homo sapiens, which we thought were two distinct species, actually mated and produced offspring, and we have Neanderthal blood in us. Well, I mean, this is the kind of thing of which science fiction shows were made.
Yeah, really.
So it's really true that would be pretty arrogant for any of us at this point to say, well, we figured it all out now. We know what's going on.
Robert and I have
We don't know what's going on.
First of all, I need to apologize. Every once in a while, it sounds like we're talking over you, and I don't mean to do that. I think there's a delay, so that's probably why. So I apologize for that. But also, I apologize to the listeners because Robert and I have a little advantage. We've seen the book, so our listeners need to know about the book. So we will do that when we come back. The book is called The Book of Life. Deborah Harkness has a huge following, and I know that you've got some listeners right now anxious to find out about this book. So we'll take a little break and be right back after this.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. For today, times of sun and clouds and becoming breezy. It can be a thunderstorm in spots, but most areas along the coast will stay dry today with highs of 86 on the coast to 92 inland. Partly cloudy tonight with a shower in spots late at night near the coast, the low 67 inland, 74 on the coast. For tomorrow, intervals of clouds and sun. There can be a morning shower along the coast, the high 84 at the coast, 91 inland. From the Florida Weather Center, meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Looking for that spot to try some real Cuban food? Head on over to Mama V's Cuban Cafe with home-cooked food just like Abuela used to make it. Mama V's is the #1 authentic Cuban cuisine. Centrally located on Highway 200 in Ocala. Best Cuban sandwich, steak, black beans and rice, and yummy sweet plantains, tres leche, and flan for dessert. Mama V's is open Monday through Friday, 10 to 7, Saturday, 10 to 9. Sandwich combos include side and drink for $7.95. And you've got to try Mama V's Tropical Shakes. 622-1727. Mama V's Cuban Cafe.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy, never being in the mood. And when I was, I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind. With a custom treatment plan that really works, I feel great. They could create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779.
One of the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking, will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Pozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
All right, 19 minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Deborah Harkness is on the phone. She's up in New Orleans, or however you pronounce it. She is the #1 New York Times bestselling author of A Discovery of Witches, Shadow of Night, and now the new book, The Book of Life. And I think it's coming out just today. I think today's the first day. Am I right about that, Deborah? Is today day one?
You are right. Comes out today.
Wow. So tell us about this story. Do we need to know the other two stories before you can tell us about this one?
I don't think so. I know that there are some people who have just dived right into the deep end of the pool with the Book of Life, which is the third book in the trilogy. But the trilogy starts with A Discovery of Witches, where we're introduced to Diana Bishop, who is a historian at Yale University, and she's searching for a lost alchemical manuscript called Ashmole 782. And in her travels, to find that book. She meets up with a dashing geneticist who is also a professor at Oxford University named Matthew Claremont, and he just happens to be a 1,500-year-old vampire. But it turns out Diana, on her part, is the last in a very long line of witches that can trace their family all the way back to Salem, Massachusetts in 1692. So the two of them, it's a little bit of the Hatfields and McCoys. They come from very important rival families, but they share this interest in this mysterious alchemical manuscript that they think is going to tell them about the origins of creatures like them, of witches and vampires and demons. So it's a fun book full of history and fantasy and mystery, and if you love books, you probably will like this series. So.
And I like the fact that they're not teenagers.
Oh, no. The teenagers should not have all the fun.
That's right.
And these two are not. They're in their 30s, and I think that's a really, as somebody who's now 50, I can say that I remember the 30s as a time of real challenges as you were were really trying to figure out how you were going to live the rest of your life, settle down, get your family going, find a house, fix the house up. And even though Matthew and Diana are witch and vampire, they've got a same problems to sort out as the rest of us.
So he's in his 30s, but he's 1,500 years old.
Yeah, so he was changed into a vampire in his 30s, but now he's stuck there.
Which is this is what I want. I want to be stuck in my 30s.
Perfect.
Yeah, well, one day.
I got to tell you, I would never pick 17. If I was going to be a vampire, I'd never want to be a 17-year-old.
No, if you're going to live forever,
in my mid-30s.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to be in your mid. I mean, by that time, you've got all your sexual hang-ups are gone. Mm-hmm. And all the women have their sexual hang-ups gone. So 30s is a perfect time.
Plus, you're old enough to purchase alcohol. You're old
That's right.
You've got a wider taste in music. It's all good.
Have you ever met anybody who believed and with all their heart that they were a witch?
Oh, yes.
And
I meet them all the time.
Are they your readers?
Some of them are my readers,
Mm-hmm.
because there is actually a religion called Wicca that follows the traditional beliefs of witchcraft, and there's other pagan religions that follow witchcraft beliefs that are not Wiccan. And so, I mean, I know I've met people who consider themselves and identify themselves as being witches. Now, whether they can, shake their nose with, and make the dirty dishes disappear is another matter. I haven't really explored that, but but there definitely are. Again, just as there are, it's a recognized faith. Yes, I've never.
But you think about some voice-activated things, like you can go in your car and you can say, "Turn the radio on." Mm-hmm. And it'll turn on. That's almost like a magic spell.
Yeah.
And you can make a potion.
I don't know how it works.
I don't either.
Do you know how? No. I mean, so I'm sure somebody could explain it to me, but we take a lot of things on faith. When we say that, we believe it's going to work, and it works. And that's really all that most of us know. We just trust it. So science is kind of our magic now.
Your book brings out that how a person lives in the lived in the past, what they've done really does sort of creep into the present.
It does, especially if you don't face it and deal with it. And again, I don't think you need to be a witch or a vampire to have had that experience. So part of, I think, what makes the books so powerful to people and makes the characters so real is that even if there are supernatural elements, you don't get off the hook. You still got to deal with the same stuff that the rest of us have to. And part of that is facing up to who you are and owning it. That's really where power comes from, never mind magical spells. So many people are kind of hiding from themselves, and they can never live up to their full potential if they're afraid of who they are and what they've done. And
very smart. Yeah,
but also kind of the universal condition. You're never going to be able to do what you could do if you can't look yourself in the mirror and say, yep, I've made mistakes, I've done things that are bad, but It's okay.
So just to pry into your personal life a little bit, before you were a published author, did you have that doubt about becoming a published author? And after it happened, especially now, after you've got this track record of success, I mean, compare yourself now to when you wanted to be where you are now. Did you have that? I mean, where were you? How did you get from there to here?
It's a great question. I never wanted to be a novelist. It was not my dream. My dream was to be a historian. And so I had done that, and I'd published 2 books as a historian. And then I don't know what happened. Suddenly I was making up stories and thinking about witches and vampires. Sometimes I laughingly say that this was my midlife crisis, that some people go out and buy sports cars. I went out and I wrote a novel. But it's really true that it was not part of my plan, and I sometimes think I'm going to wake up and it's all going to have been a dream, because it does just seem a little bit like it was all sprinkled with pixie dust, and I've been very fortunate.
Because of your involvement with the history of science and medicine, your research really lends well to what you have in the book.
Yes, so I really love being able to insert little bits of historical truth and experiences and things that I know and interesting characters from the past into the books. And then my readers can sit in their houses and think, wait a minute, did she make that up or is it real? They can get on the internet and figure it out.
Is there a story behind the name Ashmole 782?
Yes.
What is it?
Of course there is. So there was a great collector of books named Elias Ashmole in the 17th century, and he collected as many books as he could, and he was particularly interested in books about alchemy and magic. And if he hadn't collected those books, most of them wouldn't survive today. And he gave his collection of books to the Bodleian Library and all of his artifacts. He was also a collector of all kinds of amazing stuff. He established his own museum at Oxford called the Ashmolean, which you can go and see. And so Ashmole 782, this manuscript, was one of the books that I called up and requested when I was doing my doctoral dissertation research, and it came up missing. And it's still missing. So it's a real manuscript. It's really missing.
Oh, wow.
And it's named after the man who collected it in the 17th century. And 782 is just the number. It's, the 782nd book that was added to the Bodleians collection. So that's the story behind Ashmole 782.
I love that story. All right, for your fans, I have not 1, but 2 copies of the Book of Life. I can have 2 people call to ask for them. I will be glad to leave them here for you for free. Your name will be on it. It'll be waiting for you here at the station. So 2 people can call in right now, 622-9622. The rest of us have to go buy it. And Deborah, give us some information about that. I know it's on Amazon. I found it there already. And you have a website as well?
Yes, I have a website as well. It's deborahharkness.com. But you should be able to find it wherever books are. So independent bookstores, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, iBooks, and of course, don't forget your local public library, because they need our support too, and they should have all of the books in the trilogy if you want to get caught up.
And you're doing something really cool while you're in New Orleans. You're meeting your fans, you're doing book signings, and that is really wonderful that you're putting yourself out there, the real person, so your fans can get to know you.
Oh, well, thank you. It's a real treat for me. It's my favorite. People say, what's the best part about being an author? And I can say absolutely 100% honestly, it's meeting the readers. So it's an exciting day for me, a beginning of a 3-week tour. So I'll be all over the country. And
you're a rock star.
Looking forward to
You're
it.
a paper star.
Star.
Paper beats rock every time, remember. You're better than a rock star. Wow, what a great interview. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do this with us. I would love, if you ever came to Florida, to do this again in the studio.
That would be great. It would be wonderful, Larry. Thank you so much. And thanks, Robin.
Thank you, Deborah. What a great interview. All right, the books are waiting here for the 2 callers that just called in. We'll take a little break and we'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. In rain-soaked Texas, recovery teams resuming the search for 12 people missing after their vacation home got swept down a river in Wimberley. 37 counties declared disasters, including Dallas, where this man says,
I've been here my entire life, and I've never seen water like this.
Evacuations underway in Austin. Baltimore reeling from violence.
There were more than 24 shootings throughout the city over the weekend. 9 people have died. City Council member Mary Pat Clark says Baltimore is still under strain after violent protests over the death of Freddie Gray, who suffered a fatal injury in police custody.
It was a very earthquake tension kind of time. And I think we're going through the aftershocks.
The Baltimore Sun reports that May has been the deadliest month in the city since 1999.
Fox Radio's Rachel Sutherland. And 2 people are dead, several hurt after a shooting at a North Dakota Walmart. Fox News. We report, you decide.
At Choice Hotels, we know business trips start with a choice. Stay or go. You can press send or press palms. Start a chat room or chat in an actual room. Just remember, opportunities won't come to you. You got to get out there to get things done.
Should I stay or should I go?
ChoiceHotels.com makes it fast and easy to find a range of Choice Hotels like Comfort Inn and Suites. So stay with us for business and book now at ChoiceHotels.com. You always have a choice.
At Olympic, we make every project easy, every step of the way. So now you can easily beautify your outdoor deck with Olympic Elite or Maximum Stain. Or try one of our paint and primers in one, like Olympic One with exclusive Easy Wash formula, or Olympic Icon at a value starting at under $20 per gallon.
This Memorial Day, stop by Lowe's and save $10 on Olympic paints and stains via online and mail-in rebate, exclusively at Lowe's. Results vary by sheen. Offer valid 5/20 through 5/27 and applies to 114 to 128 flow-down scans only.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hi, this is Becky at Hello Gorgeous Salon. We are located in the heart of downtown Ocala, right next to the historic Marion Theater. I'd like to invite you to stop by and see our new boutique area and meet our staff of professional stylists. Here at Hello Gorgeous, we are ready to update your look with the latest trends. It's the perfect time to brighten up your look. So make your appointment now for those highlights and Brazilian blowout. But don't stop there. We are a full-service salon offering manicures, pedicures, and facials also. So if you've been searching for a salon to call your own, come and see us at Hello Gorgeous Salon. We are located at 48 South Magnolia Avenue in downtown Ocala, right next to the Marion Theater. So call today and set up your appointment at Hello Gorgeous Salon at 351-5358. That's 351-5358. And don't forget, we also do men and children's cuts too. 351-5358.
Hello, gorgeous.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy, never being in the mood. And when I was, I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind, with a custom treatment plan that really works. I feel great. They can create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Hi, Danny Werfel here. Get moving with Florida Credit Union's fast and easy loan approval process.
Let Florida Credit Union start up a new car loan for you today. No more waiting, hassles, or stop signs. You can even apply online. With a strong financial team behind you, you can enjoy great rates and fast approvals.
It's all about personalized service and a streamlined process.
Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life.
We are The Source, WOCA, news, talk, sports, and more.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.